getting serious at the second Grand Prix of Portugal in Vila Velha de Rodão, because it's the last race of the season, it's the day of the qualifying, and it's about the title decision in the UIM F2 World Championship. On Saturday morning, 17 pilots entered the circuit in free practice to find the perfect setup for qualifying later on. This was also the first showdown between the title contenders Mansour Al-Mansouri, Sami Celio and Stefan Hagen. It soon became clear that it was going to be a very close fight among the three of them, who had obviously done their homework. At the end of the 90-minute session, these three were separated by 0.3 of a second. Fastest so far was Mansour Al-Mansouri on third position, followed by Hagen and Celio. Last race winner Giacomo Sacchi again was among the frontrunners in this practice session here in Vila Velha de Rodão. In the end, the Monegasque posted the second quickest time. Bimba Sjöholm was a big surprise. The Swedish pilot handled the course perfectly, and in the end she was 63 thousandths faster than Giacomo Sacchi and finished in first position after 90 minutes of practice. In Q1, it seemed to be the identical situation as it was in the previous race in Ribaduro, because Giacomo Sacchi posted the fastest time. The Monegasque took first place and easily got through to the next qualifying round. But behind him things got interesting. The local hero Duarte Benavente was second and put himself in a position for a top starting spot at the Grand Prix. Apart from Sami Celio, who finished third in Q1, Mansour Al-Mansouri and Stefan Hagen had a more difficult time. Al-Mansouri was laying in 10th spot for quite a while, but at the end he was able to improve his time to get 6th fastest. This meant that the Abu Dhabi driver had also secured his entry in Q2. Stefan Hagen was also struggling. The German just found himself in the midfield, but a 10th position in Q1 was enough to qualify for Q2. Qualifying was already over for world champion Rashid Al-Kemzi. The Abu Dhabi driver was out after Q1 with electrical problems and will have to start the race on Sunday from the end of the grid. The 15 remaining drivers started into the second qualifying round, and again it was Duarte Benavente who was in front right at the beginning. Halfway through Q2, the top three were Benavente, Sjöholm and Sacchi. But then the fastest lap time started to drop. Stefan Hagen took the lead, followed by Sami Celio just 6 thousandths of a second down. Al-Mansouri, however, did not seem to be doing so well. With 3 minutes to go in Q2, the World Championship leader found himself just in 7th spot, meaning Q3 was out of reach. In the end, it was Duarte Benavente who set the fastest time and moved up to first place, followed by Hagen and Celio. And indeed, Al-Mansouri couldn't improve any further. So the championship leader only starts from grid position 7 on Sunday.
I'm still leading the World Championship. It's not over yet. I had a hard, difficult Q2. There was too much traffic. I couldn't make it to Q3, but I'm coming tomorrow.
Giacomo Sacchi also unexpectedly dropped out in Q2 after his best lap time was withdrawn. The pole setter of the previous race has to start from 10th position on the grid. The remaining 6 boats of Duarte Benavente, Sami Celio, Tobias Müntekas, Edgaras Riabko, Stefan Hagen and Bimba Sjöholm entered the final qualifying round Q3, which would decide who will start from pole position at the Portuguese Grand Prix Part 2 on Sunday. Duarte Benavente posted consecutive fastest lap times. No one was able to knock the Portuguese out of the lead, so Benavente secured pole position at his home race. However, things got extremely exciting down the field. First of all, Sami Celio took second place after setting a time of 45.056, but this time was going to be a tricky one. Tobias Mintekas also caught up, setting exactly the same time of 45.056, just 0.14 seconds slower than Benevente. In the final stages of Q3, it was Stefan Hagen who set that very same lap time, 45.056. A qualifying can't be any tighter than this. With hardly any time remaining, Tobias Mintekas again went faster. The Norwegian secured second place for the Grand Prix on Sunday.
This year the level is so freaking high, so it's everyone deserves top of the grid position, but this time it was me on the second spot, so I'm quite satisfied, and it will be really interesting tomorrow because all of the guys that I have in front of me and the championship is behind me, so I like this.
Sami Celio and Stefan Hagen ended up with equal lap time. However, Celio will start the race from third on the grid because the Finn of the Sharjah team simply set his lap time prior to Hagen. Out of the three main title contenders, Celio all of a sudden has the best possible chances because overtaking here in Vila Velha de Rodão is extremely difficult.
Of course, it's great. I'm for the guys who's really challenging with the points to win the world title. I was fastest of all of them, so it's great. So let's see. Of course, the race is always completely other story, and you never know what kind of the weather will be tomorrow. But hopefully good, and hopefully we get a good start. That has been my issue in the past years when I have been driving with Formula 2. So except the last race where the start was decent. So let's see. I hope now we find the problems and I can have good start and good race tomorrow.
But nothing is lost yet for Stefan Hagen either, because as the qualifying has shown, the gaps among the top drivers are small and everything is still possible at the Grand Prix.
I have tried to push really hard, but at the end it was not enough to go in the top three. But it was just 0.2 of a second, I think, from the pole position. So from the performance of the boat, we are happy, and yes, as I told, in the race all can happen, and we have a good setup for the race, and so I'm looking forward for tomorrow for the race.
Just for World Championship leader Al-Mansouri, it will probably be a bit more work to become world champion at the end. But even from 7th place on the grid, everything is still possible. So this season final 2022 of the UIM F2 World Championship promises to be one of the most exciting in years.